All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Pure Foods of Tasmania's fourth quarter presentation. We'll just give it a few more minutes for people to register and come on, and then I'll hand over to Michael Cooper to talk through the results. All right, given it's 10:30, I'd like to be prompt. We will kick off. So again, welcome everybody. Pure Foods of Tasmania's fourth quarter trading update was out yesterday. We've got Michael Cooper on the call to walk you through the presentation, tell you the story, and then at the end we'll have an opportunity for Q&A. So for Q&A, either use the Q&A facility on the webinar, or you can ping me an email, craig.sainsbury@marketi.com.au. And with that, Michael, hand over to you.
Thanks, Craig, and morning, everyone. Thank you for spending the time. So, as Craig said, we'll go through our quarter four FY21 update. Pure Foods, and I'll just do a little bit of a brief introduction because there might be some new investors online. Pure Foods was formed in 2015, obviously to acquire and develop premium food businesses in Tasmania. Highly experienced board and management team, which you can hopefully go and have a look and see who's on the board as such. We have 5 business units as such. We have obviously been a really busy year in FY21, where we purchased an additional 3 for the original 2 business units being Tasmania, Woodbridge Smokehouse, Daily Potato was purchased in October last year, Lloyds plant-based cheese, and our latest acquisition was the Cashew Creamy, which is quite exciting to be in ice cream. The highlights, I suppose, of quarter four, pretty exceptional. Obviously on PCP, a 98% growth. That's really exciting. A large increase in our Asian distribution, which I've actually mentioned before in the 4C, but I'll talk a little bit about that later. Obviously the confirmation of a new SKUs going to Woolworths with the Homestead range. It's running on the back of a very successful launch of the Homestead premium pâtés back in October last year. So we're launching into 850 stores an additional SKU, which is really exciting. And of course the famous potato and gravy. So we've finally completed all our trials, and I'll talk more about that later, which is super exciting. One thing which is a real standout, I mean, all these businesses are about access to customers. We've grown our customer base by 207%, so which is pretty impressive. I've got some more detail to follow. That gives us access to another 1,350 customers, close to 2,000 active customers, which is quite phenomenal within just over a year of trading. Online store continues to grow, obviously with the market where it is and a lot of lockdown going on. We've had, even only last week, we had about a 60% increase in demand for online store. So we continue to work pretty hard in online store and continue to add more value. And we're obviously aligning ourselves with other great Tasmanian products. We're doing a promotion with Lark whiskey at the moment, which is getting a lot of traction. Just a bit of a graph there and you can see the entities there as such. Obviously in quarter four, you had Woodbridge Smokehouse had an outstanding position on same period year ago, 79% growth. We've had significant demand for the product. Our export business into Asia is actually driving the majority of that, along with our recent relationship with Monday Nissan into the independents throughout Australia. And Woodbridge itself, with the NPD, we continue to develop new products and move into other categories as well within that business, and more to come later on that. Tasmania, consistently, market-leading products, 14% growth, which is well ahead of the market trend. So they've actually performed exceptionally well. The group itself, the total group in sales is up 25%, and obviously the revenues that to make up this were our revenues that we've achieved plus pre-acquisition revenues, so they've been put together. So we didn't have control of all the sales. We obviously haven't control of all the sales now moving forward. So as they're laid out there, the percentage growth, as I talked about Woodbridge, Daily was reasonably flat. There's reasons for that, and I'll talk more about that later. And Lloyds, the plant-based foods business, which specialised in cheese, has had an absolute amazing time, a 52% growth. And I think last time we presented, it was growing in the high 40s as well. So there's massive demand for plant-based foods, and we're really happy that we're in that space. And our ice cream business, which is absolutely super tiny, but growing madly. And I'll show you some exciting information about that shortly, but that grew at 38%. This is my favourite slide, I suppose, as I mentioned before, that as you can see, a graph, every good brand has got to have access to a consumer. If a consumer can't access it, there's probably no point. To pick up 1,350 new customers, our target was actually 1,000, and we picked up, another 1,350. So we're actually sitting very close to 2,000 active customers. That's across Australia and Asia as well. We recently picked up quite a few more customers into Asia, which is quite exciting. The other big important part of all this, and you can see the dots down the point in the channels that we're playing in, independents, distributors, major retail, an online business to customer, which is online store, our export business, and of course food service. But the exciting space that we're moving into now, being in the ice cream business, we can move into P&C. P&C is petrol convenience business, and that's where the majority of the impulse products are consumed. We're also started to do some early work with the QSR channel. The QSR channel is quick service restaurants. Examples of that are the chains like McDonald's, Hungry Jack's, KFC. They're the quick service channel restaurants, Real Burgers and so on like that. So we'll talk more about that later, but super exciting that we've got product range now that covers all channels. So we believe our customer base will continue to grow. Just going to go through each entity now, a bit more detail. Obviously, Woodbridge has been a standout. You can see that early presentations earlier on the year, I've talked about our relationship with Monday Nissan. Monday Nissan do all our independent business throughout the country. We recently became their sole salmon and trout provider, which is super exciting. That gave us initial large growth early days, and we're predicted to grow another 15%. The recent exciting news was the arrangement with our long-term distributor in Hong Kong has secured another 6 major retailers for distribution of Woodridge Smokehouse products. We actually dispatched our largest order that Pure Foods has ever done, which is a great effort by the team. We exported a 20-foot container full of salmon and trout into Hong Kong, and that was sort of 40,000 units of 100-gram packs, and they're forecasting to take an additional 200,000 units in the next 6 months. So that'll be significant volume for us, which is really exciting, driving efficiencies. That drives our COGS down as well, and it's great to have the products pulling off the shelf there and the demand is that high. So very excited about that opportunity. Tasmania, the old store horse, I suppose, and the stablest part of the business. The grow at 14% is pretty exceptional. We're obviously seeing a bit of a spike recently with lockdowns because it's an entertaining type food. So we're getting a lot of e-commerce business, and our major Woolworths itself get a spike when there's lockdowns because a lot of people do online entertaining as such. They might have people at their house, but they're having Zoom parties and so on. So we're seeing a natural spike. Super excited to announce that we're just launching a new chicken and cheddar, which is really cool. That's under the Homestead brand. So we've been working in partnership with Woolworths for some time on that. Lots of different variations and MPD done on that, and we've come up with a great product. So it's Tasmanian cheddar cheese with Tasmanian free-range chicken and Tasmanian butter. So hopefully you'll be able to see it on your shelves in late September. Daily potatoes. So as I mentioned before, we continue to work hard on daily. We're doing some pack changes. We've deleted some SKUs. We're actually changing some internal production. We've also just launched reasonably successfully was the Homestead coleslaw, which is a premium-based coleslaw. You can see it in the middle of those 3 SKUs there with a purple label. That's actually ticking over really well in its early days. I suppose we're working pretty hard on our meal solutions, which is our bakes as such, duck fat potato, normal potatoes, medleys and so on, which actually they're getting a real spike as well, because a lot of people are having meals on the go. That's working out really well. We're looking to do some other innovation in that category. One of the most exciting things, I know everybody's been waiting for this, the slide will come in the future, is the potato and gravy project. We've been working on this project for well over 12 months now. A lot of trials been done locally in independence within Tasmania to make sure we had the right pack format and the product was stable for transport, and we've had success there. So it's a very happy day here to announce that. Obviously, you've probably seen through the media, we did a partnership with North Melbourne Football Club. We've got another activation happening on the 27th of this month in Hobart. Hopefully the game goes ahead with Geelong and North Melbourne, where we're handing out free potato and gravy if you come to the game. So we actually we actually gave away a lot of potato and gravy at the last game and got a lot of really good positive feedback. So that's super exciting. We're actually also got an activation with North Melbourne in Melbourne. We just got to confirm what the date will be. So I believe that's at Marvel Stadium. Lloyds. So as I mentioned before, Lloyds is absolutely flying. 52% growth. This whole category itself is still exploding. We're getting activation points where we can. We're doing in-store tastings. We're doing a lot of work with chefs. We're doing a lot of work with pizza places and adding vegan-based cheese to vegan-based pizzas. It's a really fast-growing category. We had a really successful activation with Dark Mofo where we made plant-based cheeseburgers. I've got a bit of a slide to talk about that soon, but we continue to see a lot of growth here. We've built a new online store for Lloyds, especially exclusive to Lloyds, so you can get your online store product direct from Lloyds, and that's actually really pulling through well as well. The cashew creamy. So this is Superexonics. Everybody likes ice cream. So very early days. We've just relocating this to a new factory alongside our head office here. So we will have completion of that as in next week. We have ordered a whole new complete filling line to increase our capacity. We're currently doing about 1,200 sticks a day. We'll be able to go to about 5,800 sticks a day. We launched multi-packs, which you can see in the image there. We're doing a 4-pack and a 6-pack. They've been launching into major retail and independents, and they'll also be presenting to PNC as well. So once again, the plant-based food category is actually going gangbusters. This product itself, if anyone gets a chance to actually taste it, I recommend you do. It is phenomenal, and you cannot taste it. It's not dairy. So be very happy to get your feedback on that one. And the big one, the big opportunity. So as I've said before, we've been working on this for well over 12 months. We've finally nailed the packaging. The product's exceptional from all our trials, so we're ready to go. Just some rough data, and we've been doing some obviously early trials with Tasmanian IGA stores, and it's been working exceptionally well with really big pull through. Some stores do 30 units per store per week, which is phenomenal numbers. It's estimated in the research we've done that there's over 95 million barbecue chickens sold throughout major retail within Australia. That's got a value of about $1 billion. So, if we can pick up a small percentage of that, we'll be pretty happy. So, very excited about this, and sorry about the delay bringing this to the market. Nobody's been waiting for it, but we're excited as you guys have been working super hard to get it. So, looking forward to this itself being a whole new category. No one's done it before, and probably understand why no one's done it before, because it's been quite hard. But we've done a lot of work and pulled all the consultants we could from wherever we could find, and the technology is actually coming out of Europe to make the product successful. So looking forward to be able to get that on the shelves for you, so you'll be able to purchase it. Been an example of the sort of promotions you'll see. We've obviously, now that we've got the categories covered with the potato and gravy and the premium cold store, we'll be doing Feed the Family for $20. Some retailers may charge slightly more, some retailers might charge slightly less, but basically, if you can feed your family for $20, it's pretty good value. So super excited about that opportunity, and that'll be rolling out through PNC and into retail as well. So I thought we'd put through some slides of brand activation, what we've been doing to promote our brands out and about. There was obviously the Daily Potato head competition, which is quite cool. Everybody put in their favourite photo. We're in their Daily Potato beanie, and someone got a year's supply of Daily Potato products. So a lot of feedback, and we're working pretty hard to do a lot of promotions with Daily. It hasn't been promoted as yet, and the early indications are that it's working really well. So a lot of we've been doing a lot of demos and tastings out at parks and around the local Tasmanian community as well. So, and obviously our biggest commitment with Daily is the North Melbourne relationship. So that gives us more of a national platform. Bit of a few slides there of the activation. It was Mayhem giving out sort of 2,500 potato gravies in about 4.5 minutes. So people were actually, any food for free, they absolutely love it. But the feedback we got after that was well worth it. So that's a bit of a slide showing the exciting activation we did. The Dark Mofo, most people would know about Dark Mofo. It's probably Tasmania's biggest event, if not probably Australia's most premium food event. We partnered with V2 Meats through this project, and we developed a plant-based cheeseburger. Absolutely sensational. It did open up my creative minds to potentially the QSR world. Potentially watch this space, and you might see some more developments in that space as we move down the track. But the product itself was amazing. Obviously, we had our plant-based cheese in there. We had pickles as well, and we also did plant-based cheese sticks as well. We're looking to do some MPD with those. So it was a really good consumer trial process. We sort of served up about 2,000 burgers, so over the few days that were actually there. So it actually went very well. Bit of an update of what we're doing, and I've openly said from the start that we are going to continue to grow the business, of course, through acquisition and organic growth. We are working really hard to find our next acquisition. The next acquisition will be off scale. We're doing product trials in pre-prepared meals, which I've talked about before. Potato and gravy we mentioned. We're leveraging combo opportunities, which I showed you that promo slide. We're still working pretty hard on the beverage category, and we continue to find opportunities around the beverage space. We continue to develop Tasmanian products wherever possible. We talked about putting our pate into export channels, which we've approved an export license, so that hasn't actually gone into Asia yet, but we're still doing some final pack changes. So that's another really big opportunity for us. Expanding our fresh food offerings into retail, which we talked about. MPD will be coming into smaller pack sizes as well for Daily Potato, for P&C. And we're obviously looking to build a snacking range, which will support the rest of our categories there. Also, this is a bit of an offer for everyone that's online. This is we do a lockdown survival pack on our online store. So there's a link to that. If you go onto the online store, you would have to go in and put down the lockdown code, so lockdown 5-pack. If you go in that, you'll get a further 5% discount, just for the guys that have made the effort and time to sit down and listen to the presentation. You need to do that before 30. It'll be closing. That code will close on 31/7. So, thank you for your time, and we've been super excited, and everything's going along really well. It's exceptionally busy, so thank you for your support.
We've got a few questions that have popped up under the Q&A function, so just a reminder for those on the call, just lodge your Q&A there, and we will ask it. So first one for you, Michael, is what is the anticipated timing of the potato and gravy launch in the mainland major supermarkets?
Yep.
And what sort of potential delays do you think could pop up from your lessons in Tasmania?
Well, we're ready to go. I suppose the only concern we had initially was that the product wasn't travelling too well in transport over long distances. We did some trials early days, so the film was actually separating in transport. So now we've got a special lock film, it's called. So we've done some trials and shipped product as far north as Queensland, and been very successful. So all going well as far as negotiation goes with retailers. We're in discussions, and it'll be late September, October is when some of them roll out at different times. But that's basically the timeline that we're rolling out through. So it'd be safe to say in early October, hopefully you'll be able to get hold of the product.
Just another one on that dough potato and the distribution. What retailers will be showing that first in mainland Australia?
We'll be presenting to all the major retailers. We're having conversations with all of them. It's obviously confidential which ones. I won't mention their names, but I think we all know who the major retailers are, because someone wants to have a go first. So it'll be the first one to the boat. But very positive conversations going on. We've been in conversations with them for some time, so they're waiting for final product to do final sampling and testing, which we've actually completed within Tassie, so it's got to be signed off by them. But we've ticked all the boxes and we're ready to go. So super excited. I mean, there's 4 or 5 major retailers out there, 2 bigger ones, as you know, and we're talking to both those guys.
Fantastic. Next question is around e-commerce. What have been the biggest selling products under the e-commerce banner, and what's been driving the major growth in that business segment?
The biggest selling products are the fish products, salmon and ocean trout. We're just about to launch. We currently do portions in a 150-gram fresh portion, which are probably the biggest selling products. We're moving into a matte tray as such, which will be a tray. We'll have 4 or 5 of those in one tray. They'll be fresh, and you'll be able to obviously cook them in a fry pan for 3 to 4 minutes, and you've got freshly cooked salmon or trout. So they're the biggest selling SKUs online, and then it filters down from there, and you go into the cold smokes, and then after that moves into patés as such. So they're the biggest selling products we see online. Our third-party products, depending on what the offer is, they come and go, they spike and drop off as such. But as I said, the recent partnership with Lark has got a bit of excitement, because a lot of people obviously locked down and need something to get rid of the pressure of being locked down, so they're drinking a bit of whiskey and salmon.
Right. Next question was just on the revenue split. You mentioned before there was a growing number of customers and distribution channels into the Asian market. Can you provide with between domestic Australian and international revenue, and where you think that may go over time?
Yeah, I suppose at the moment, all our export is in fish. As I said, we've secured an export license for pate, but the breakup of the Woodbridge business in export, I've got it over here. So export business of Woodbridge's sales, I mean, Woodbridge, basically the total business itself this year will double its sales from last year. So it's 100% growth. So picked up an extra $1 million in sales. Out of that total $2 million in sales in that business now, the export business is 45%. It was like before we picked up this latest customer or those additional retailers in Hong Kong, it was running about 32. So a really big step up, and if they continue as per their forecast, that will probably go to close to 50% of our business. Why it hasn't exceeded that 50% barrier is because we also secured the Mono Nissan relationship with 1,500 independent supermarkets throughout Australia as well. So we got a double bangy, where we got the export business growth and we picked up the independents as well. So the factory's been running absolutely flat out. The factory's now working on Saturdays as well, so we're running 6 days a week. So pretty exciting. We've about to commission our new filleting area. We've actually invested a lot of money in plant equipment for our fish processing business. We've probably invested 600 or 700 grand in that space. So we are investing pretty heavily in plant equipment as per our prospectus that we said we'd do. We've spent over $2 million in plant equipment now, which has sort of exceeded our forecast by 900. I mean, the main reason why the lag's 6 months to get equipment, so we've got to commit, and most of it's coming out of Germany and Italy. So we are buying the best you can buy. There's no point buying bad equipment because you buy it twice. So we're doing it right the first time. From my experience, it's the way to do it.
Yeah. You've kind of probably 2/3 answered this next question that popped in, but I'll ask it for just that final third to answer through. But can you give some clarity as to the expected plant and equipment spend in FY22? They're going to be sort of higher and lower than what you've been spending in 21.
I'd say we'll spend, or basically the CapEx budget is about 950,000 for FY22, and we've spent 2 million so far. So it's another $1 million.
Yeah.
So, but once we get that there, so as I said before, we've ordered a new filling line for our ice cream business. I mean, the ice cream business is basically done very manual today. and we're forecasting to grow that business significantly from the early demand signals. So we're going to have to get that equipment. The equipment won't arrive here to August. Until that time, we're working pretty hard to keep up with the volume as such, because it's very manually done. We've also committed to a new sealing machine for our test pate, which will actually reduce our plastic, which is great, environmentally friendly. We're going to a film on the back and getting rid of some other plastic inserts, so reducing a lot of plastic. We're going to 100% recycled plastic with that product as well. So we're currently with PVC, we're going to PET, and we'll increase our yields because we're not having over slops and leakage of stuff as well. So that product itself, or that equipment has been ordered as well, and that'll be here hopefully it'll be here in September. So we've got quite a bit of plant equipment going on as per what we said in our 4C, but it's all in plant equipment to deliver our volumes required and also improve our quality as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Conscious of time, we've only got one more question left anyway. The last one is in terms of brand extensions. You've been going into the sort of the prepackaged food with the potatoes and the coleslaw. You're going into the premium end of the market with the plant-based foods. Where do you see future brand extensions for the company?
Brand extension will probably be more in pack size, and so we're pretty happy in the categories we're in. In the plant-based food space, we're looking in beverages. They're pretty heavy at the moment. So we're happy with the categories we're in. What you may see is pack size variations as we move to more of an on the go, like a smaller pack size will be launching for certain foods as well. So that really supports the P&C space, which is the service station market where you drop in and get, you pick up your loaf of bread and milk and you pick up your quick snack out the door. So we are moving into the snacking space as well. So we just want to make sure we've got every sales channel covered. We probably might be creating brands within, but the majority of the work will be done in pack sizes to meet consumer needs.
Fantastic. That has gone through all of the questions that we've had. So Michael, thanks for the time. Thank you everybody for dialing in. And enjoy the rest or any questions I should say follow up. Both Michael and my contact details are on the release. If there's any further questions you've got, please just reach out to either of us and we can answer them.
Thanks, Craig, and thanks for everyone for coming online. Appreciate it. Thanks for your support.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.